Detecting today. I'm out on the Susquehanna River checking out some of the rock cuts here, and this is one of my favorite places to come. It's loaded with fire-cracked rock and flint. I found numerous artifacts in here before. Came down with my sister, she's way down there, but I just found a smoking artifact. This is probably my biggest and first really good complete art drill. Look at this, and it looked, oh my god, it's all there. Look at that drill. Maybe a little tip damage, but that is awesome. All right, we'll get back to you if I find something else, but it don't get much better than that, folks. Yeah, the tip is gone, but that's okay. Most of it is there. All right, we'll get back to you if we find something else. All right, guys, still working the little gravel bars. That last drill was down there by where my sister is. Just coming up through here, it's really hard to look at because there's so much rocks, but I've been pulling out little flakes here and there. Just tons of small pieces of flint, but I did get a point, another point right here. There you go. It's small, it's right here, and it's got a little damage on it, but definitely a neat little point. Just missing that base. Probably got tumbled around in all these rocks here, but as I'm looking through all these gravels, I'm going real slow, kind of bent over, and just going real slow and finding all kinds of little pieces of flakes and flint and stuff. I'll show you in a little wrap up. But hey, we'll take that little point from the Susquehanna River. All right, hopefully there'll be something else. We got to get going in a few minutes, but I'm going to keep searching a little bit in this gravel right here and see what we find. See you on the next or on a wrap. Hey guys, what's up? Back again to do a little wrap up on some of the things that I found this week. I did not really get out much metal detecting. It has been very, very hot, and I found out that since I had my little heart issues there, for some reason the heat just really gets to me. So I haven't been out all that much. Now I did get out twice on the Susquehanna Riverbank. One later evening, I was out with Chris from Detecting NEPA. We were out a little bit for maybe like an hour or two. And I found a couple of little things, and I'm going to show you that stuff. That's here. But I was also looking for arrowheads. This area that we were at, me and Chris, was one of the areas where I sometimes find them. And then I did a second trip this week. I went out with my sister, took her down there, and I found a really cool artifact. So that's the only clips that I have. That's what you just saw with that really nice drill and the arrowhead and a whole bunch of pieces and some pieces of flint, stuff like that. Also found a very cool old piece of an old stone bottle, which was kind of cool. I'll explain that one real quick in just a minute. But just to get to the stuff that I was when I was down there with Chris. These are just a couple pieces of flint. You know, when you start finding pieces of flint like this, these flakes, it's when you slow down and you start looking for artifacts, because this is the debris. As they're making stone arrowheads, this is the debris that pops off. I did get two artifacts with Chris. This is a nice little thumb scraper, and I don't know if it's going to show, but you see how it's flat on that side. Almost no work whatsoever. You turn it over, you can see a lot of work down here, and if you feel this edge, you can see all the work on the edges. Straight down, you can see some of this work here. This whole edge right here is worked, and so is that edge. So this would have been a nice little thumb scraper. Could have even been inserted into a wooden handle. I don't think so. I think this is probably just made to be just like you see it there, just to scrape with. I did find a nice piece of a point there, broken, snapped off right there. That would have been a real nice point. It's got some really fine fine work on it there. And like I said, I found points in this area before, so I already knew that I was going to be looking while I was metal detecting. I also found some pieces. This would have been a nice little, looks like a little bit of a celt or a chopper. It's made out of rhyolite. You can see the work going down the side right here. It's all chipped into shape here. It snapped probably in half. It would have been the same, probably about the same size all the way around. But unfortunately, that was broken. See a nice snap right there. And that typically happens on the riverbanks. You know, things get tumbled around a lot. But this here was part of a tool. I thought at first I picked up a broken point, but now I'm not so sure. It still could be. This could have been a point that was impact fractured. Could have hit here and then step fractured off like that. Not sure. I mean, that's a jump. You can see it's broken right there on the side. But they were definitely working on it. You can see how it, you can see the different flakes taken off of it. So it's a piece of something. Anyway, with the metal detector, oh, this was a surface find. This is just like a bottle stopper, an old glass bottle stopper. But with the metal detector, found a few little what's-its, a little gear, fishing lure, some modern memorial penny. Now, these two are a little bit older. I found 2 musket balls. This one would have obviously been for a rifle. This might have been a pistol ball. Couple of modern bullets. Of course, when you're down the river, you find these things like crazy. So that was the day that I was with Chris. Now, like I said, a couple days later, I went down the riverbank with my sister in a different place, and we went specifically to look for points. I didn't even take my metal detector. But as you can see, whole bunch more of these pieces of flint, and these are just, like I said, debris from as they're making stone arrowheads or flint arrowheads. This is the debris that comes off as they're whacking it with stone or antler or whatever. And like I said, they're just, you know, random pieces, but you got to look for this stuff because the points and the artifacts are going to be mixed in with this stuff. Most of this is river cobbles that were smashed up. I don't see any really nice quarried pieces or anything. This they were working on a little bit. You could see some of that, but there's some pieces of rhyolite, which I do find a lot of this rhyolite down there. It's the same material as this thing here is made out of. And nice piece of heat treated jasper. This stuff is yellow. When you start seeing this red color, that means it was in a fire. When it gets heated up, it changes color like that. Sometimes it was done on purpose, intentionally, and sometimes just a piece that was laying around by the fire and got hot. So anyway, the cool stuff, like you saw in that first clip, this drill. This is a very nice little piece. I mean, it's too bad that that tip was gone. This is Onondaga chert. Now, I'm not sure how old it is, but you can see the work. I mean, just a beautiful little piece. And this would have been used for, you know, going punching through leather, or sometimes when they drilled stone beads, things like that. Might have been in a little wooden handle and used like that. But this is just a nice little example of this type of artifact. Like I said, too bad the tip was knocked off. Who knows? That could have been, you know, up like that, maybe. But a lot of times I'll find like either a midsection or a base or a tip. It's very rare to find the whole thing, especially on the riverbanks, because of the fact that everything gets kind of tumbled around. It falls out of the banks from above and it makes its way down into the river channel, and then it just gets destroyed. This was the point that I found that was in that one clip. Now, this site where I found this stuff, a lot of the stuff I get from here is usually like early woodland period and later. With this point there, I'm pretty sure this is one of 2 different types of points. I've kind of narrowed it down. It's either a Vosberg point, which is going to be your mid-archaic, which is going to be slightly older than some of the stuff that I found there. And your date ranges, you're looking at as far back as 5,200 years old. Anywhere from, I mean, the book says like 4,500 to 5,200 years old. Now, some people like to use the BC. I like to use before present, so that's how old it is, 5,200 years old to 4,500 years old. If you were to go in the BC, 3,200 BC to 2,500 BC. So it's a very old piece. If it's not the Vosburg type, and what's throwing me is that corner notch right here. The Vosburgs are corner notched. The Brewerton side notches, the notch is up a little bit higher. There's more of a base on it, and that's what this appears to be. But I've seen Vosburgs that look very similar to this, where the notch is the corner notch is just kind of a little bit higher on the point. But at any rate, if it's a Brewerton side notch, it still fits into that middle to late archaic, and you're looking at 5,000 to 4,000 years old. 4 to 5,000 years old, or 2 to 3,000 BC. So it's still in that time period. So this would make this type of point is probably about around the oldest that I found there, because like I said, most of the stuff I find there has been all a little bit younger than the archaic period. There's also some pieces here. At first I thought this might be a point that was just destroyed if it got blown apart in a fire or something. I mean, it still might be. I thought this would be the notching and the base. It could be. It's very hard to tell because of the damage on it. It could be just a piece of flake that happens to look like a point, but like I said, unfortunately it's snapped off there. These are parts of points. This is a little bit of a tip. This here I think is a small triangle point. It's a little bit snapped right there in that corner, but it could be a very small triangle point. I mean, it was definitely something. They were working on it. So my guess is this is a very small type of triangle point. And there are some triangle points in the archaic periods too. They're not just, most of the triangle points that you find are going to be a lot more well made than this. And those are like the true arrowheads. They would be very early, or very young compared to how old some of the other stuff is. But there's another broken point. This is like the midsection. It snapped here. It snapped here. Oops, sorry about the focus there. Snapped there. You can see the thinness and the work on it. Snapped there. This is another one that's snapped. See where it snapped off in here. Oop. I don't know why the focus keeps messing up on this, but anyway, some cool stuff. Like I said, it's been too hot, and the next this weekend coming here in Pennsylvania, they're talking about a heat wave, and I think it's the same for most of the country. Mid to high 90s, maybe even hitting 100, and it's just going to be brutal. So I really don't think I'm going to be out detecting this weekend. Probably not until like Monday or Tuesday. I do have a house next door to my girlfriend's house that I'm working on. I made a few finds there. You should see that in the next video. Nothing like last week's video. Last week was just insane. But hey, sometimes you'll have them awesome days, and then sometimes they're just average, and that's what this the finds that I've been making over at this place over here. A lot of wheat pennies and other stuff. It's a mining townhouse. You'll see it in the next video. One last thing before I go real quick. I also found this old Stone Crocker Jug. This was laying in, I saw this part. It was laying like this in the riverbank. And I was hoping this whole thing would be there, because I've never actually found anything like this that was like identifiable. You could see the label on there. It says vitreous stone. I think it says vitreous stone bottle, or vitreous stone stoneware. J. Bourne and Sons, patentees. This comes from outside of Derby, London. You can see P&J Arnold, London. So this was an imported bottle. Most of them were inkwells, but there's some other uses for them. But most of these are gonna be, this is gonna probably date roughly from the 1850s on, because the company wasn't known as J. Bourne and Sons until around 1850 from the research that I found. But very old piece of stoneware here, and I would love to find something like this, a full thing. It's too bad. I think there might be a dump site in that area, because this isn't the first time that I found older types of glass and bottles and stuff. I find a lot of pieces of this stoneware laying around. There may be a dump up in there, and I'll have to check that out. But anyway, that's what I did this week. That's the hunt for this week. Like I said, got this beautiful drill. It's Onondaga chert, and that point right there, not a bad little addition. A little base nick there, but not a bad week. I intend to get back down there. The river came up with just a little bit because of the thunderstorms we had, but I'm hoping it goes back down quick, and I plan on getting back down the river to do a little bit more artifact hunting, something I've been neglecting, but the river's been high, so I haven't been able to do much. So all right, hope to see you next week. I hope to have another video out soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.